What were you saying? Your question, you were mentioning you had a question, or you posed a question.
One of the flows that I'm working with you is when I complete, communicate back to me what I said. Well, I'm like, okay, I feel understood. And when you complete, I'll communicate it back to you, so we can stay in this space of understanding. And so I don't feel you've communicated back to me in a way that I'm like, yes, he understood what I said. What happens, you started, and then you went off back into your view and the way you see it. And I haven't felt that you truly understood what I said yet. And that's all I can tell you is like, yeah, I feel understood. I've not felt that yet.
I can read it to you. I can read it to you, because I wrote it down. You said, first of all, that I misinterpreted let me know if I understood you correctly, because you said several things. First, you said that my understanding of codependency is not what you mean by it. What you are saying is actually depending or interdepending. It's not at the expense of your own health or well-being. That's your definition of codependency, which I will share with you how this is not precise. I do understand what you mean. Codependency is much more widespread than just a direct harm. Could be subtle, could be subconscious. Now, then you said the judgment, then the defending. You said that I'm defending, and we should practice that truly. If you said this to me, once again, you did a little projection again. I love it. Once I practice truly understanding things that I'm told, I will reap benefit. I will achieve much more in my relationship. You said the word, your world will shift. That's exactly your words. I wrote them down. Now, then you said, I'm not here to be guided. Okay? We are having a beautiful conversation. I don't want to guide you or whatever. And so I understood what you said by that. It said, I'm very clear who I am. I am welcome to sit next to you, which I would love to, by the way, and exchange ideas. And then you said also that it's not only my own thoughts, that you go by heavy, substantial literature, such as 7 Habits of Highly Successful People, Power Over Force, and there was one other one, I didn't write it down. So those were the main subjects that you mentioned. Was I on track?
So I thought you repeated what I said very well. To fully understand what I said is another skill set. So you repeated it well. I'm looking for you to understand what I meant by like the essence of what I said.
No, I'm stupid. I'm stupid. You forget I'm stupid. Okay, let me try it again. So you looking for me, the dumb Jewish intensive care guy of 24 years, to understand. Let me do my best. I appreciate you looking. I like that little poking, a little bit. Man, we got to get a little bit deeper than this, because this is shallow. Because I get you. I feel you. You hurt. I feel your pain. And now I'm hurt too. Let's talk real.
Is that a projection?
Ooh, you bet it is. Because you know what? How your dad hurt your mom is what I feel right now. How my dad is laying in that coffin right now. Oh, I feel that. And he's been hurt. He was devastated. And that's why we're talking projections. We're talking I love the technology of recontextualization.
Abraham, what am I hurt about?
Okay. You're hurt about the fact that you're not certain, or if you are certain, correct me if I'm wrong, you may not be certain in the fact that your mom and your dad meant to make you. Were you made on purpose? Was your dad trying to impregnate your mom with you? And how much did she love your father when she was impregnated by him? Are you certain on that first energy, or that first when you were conceived that day? And by the way, do you know your day of conception? That's very important. Because that hurts. Not knowing what they meant and what she felt when she conceived you. And the next 9 months, what she was going through. Because that's extremely, extremely important. Almost no one speaks about this in this Western culture, not even the Eastern. So I just touched on a subject. But we can, were you meant to be made?
Yes, very intentional.
Great. Now, so your dad impregnated your mom. Do you know the date?
I do not know the
You need to find that date. If you want. Because I did. And my dad did not remember. And that's interesting. I had this conversation, flipped the living lights out of both of my parents, because this is very unconventional. What the hell kind of question is this? Did anyone ever speak to you about this?
No, I've not talked about the day I was concepted, or the conception date.
Not concepted. No, see, that's not, there's no such word. Not concepted.
The sperm and the egg meet. Is that what you're saying? The sperm and the egg meet.
Not concepted. Conceived.
That's fine. So you're talking about when the egg and the sperm meet, correct?
Yes. The day your dad made love to your mom with intent to impregnate her with you.
I don't know that date.
I would invite you to ask. By the way, are you both parents are here with us?
I don't know if my mom's here. I haven't talked to her in a while.
Whoa, so there you go with that. There's a hate towards your mom right there. You hate your mother.
No, not at all. I love my mom.
So watch this. Now let's set some ground rules here, because it's not a game. Denial will be triggered at a lightning speed. You denied it. Obviously you'll deny it. It's not a conscious hate. It's subconscious. Not speaking to your mom daily, that's unacceptable. We in this technology, this world of technology, I speak to my mom daily.
I would recommend you ask me, because I've done a lot of work of who I am and how I relate to things. I can't control what other people do, when I was created, all those things. But remember this, I have power over how I relate to all of it. And you have power how you relate to it. And that's where we have power, how I choose to relate to it.
It's incorrect thought. Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Ask me before you assume anything. Ask me how I'm relating to it. You have a better shot at understanding what's really going on than telling me like you know.
I don't need to understand this, my friend. I feel it. Now, feelings can be wrong too, but this time they're not. So,
if you feel it, then you wouldn't be projecting so much. You'd ask me if you felt it.
my
And
dear,
if you felt it, let me share this. When someone's talking with me, if you're spot on, it'll resonate. If you're not, it won't resonate.
that's a wrong idea, my friend. It will cause a denial.
This is what I teach denial. I teach denial. So if you're spot on, it will resonate. It'll go right past intellect. I don't have to defend nothing. It'll resonate.
No.
If you're not spot on, it will not resonate.
So watch this.
That's higher self. That's spirit speaking.
That's an incorrect thought.
That means resonance.
That's an incorrect thought.
It's right on, spot on.
Okay.
It's not an intellectual thing.
Okay, so I don't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead, I'm listening.
I'm just saying, so ask me. Because you do a lot of projections, a lot
So-
of assumptions, and think you know me, and I'm like,
I don't know you.
not even close.
Okay,
Not even close.
great. So now I will share with you how denial actually works, because it's a subconscious mechanism. You don't realize you do it. For example, you can check it on me. You'll tell me, like, for example, I'll give you an example. A couple of months ago, a lady told me, oh, you want to get back to your ex. And I'm like, man, I'm tired of listening. She's fat, 50-year-old siliconed up bitch who my dick wasn't getting out for 10 years ago. I don't want to get back. She's disgusting in her tone of her voice. I was suicidal from her. So then I asked myself, wait a second. Why am I getting so passionate? Why am I getting so triggered? Why am I denying? Whoa, I'm a big guru, but I'm denying. So then I thought about this, and then I investigated this idea. Of course I want to get back to her. Only not this her. That her that I fall in love with, the 19-year-old, the 25-year-old, the mother, the 30-year-old mother of my children. Of course, because my subconscious does not differentiate them too. It still sees her as that one. That one I want back. Oh, I love her. Now, by the way, if she changed now and came back with 4 children and brought some young honeys with her, of course I take her back. That would be lovely. And then, even on a deeper level, what I really crave is what she took from me is my love. She robbed me of being able to love her next to me. Yes, I still love her at a distance, but that's not the same. So she had the audacity to rob me of my love, and that's what we can never get over that. It's unget-overable. Now, this is all subconscious. I didn't realize I had that. Then I saw some sources, deep sources. Of course I want to get back with her. So you with all your exes, all of us. Now, having said that, once I say you hate your mother, and again, subconsciously, I can bring out a memory that you do not have. When she was toilet training you, as many other things, at 6 months or 8, when you just learned to sit, not well, she set you like all of us, uniformly. Like they set me in the middle of the room on that animal metallic thing, the old-fashioned little body, you know what I'm talking about, the cheap one in Russia. And it ate into it really pressed into my soft buttocks. I didn't want to shit. Because like right now, if I tell you, go shit in front of me, I mean, come on, Abraham, I don't want to shit. And this is crazy. Imagine if I forced you to shit or you forced me. No, we don't want that. But back then, that's how they trained us. And some did more rough than others. You hated her, you cried. And then she forced you to do homework or whatever they forced us to do. Some of it was great. Most of it was great, hopefully. But some was not. And it was not done in the most ideal way. Obviously, they're not ideal people. That got buried in your subconscious. And you will deny. Because that's how denial works. You clearly did not learn that if you deny denying. Now, you did deny it. Just like I used to deny it. When I told you, oh, people told me you fear. When you argue with the cardiologist, I don't fear. Every negative action or thought is fear-based. Every positive is love-based. You know that, I know that. Now it goes deep. So let me hear your take on this.
Thank you for sharing.
My pleasure.
Remember this, Abraham, some of us do work and we go deep, and there's always deeper depths to go, and you can't recontextualize what locked that fear, that trauma into you. So that's part of healing. But to think that because you went through an experience as a child that you cannot identify it and heal it, I don't believe that. I believe you can heal everything with a high enough vibration. And so these are areas that some of us have done the work in to heal. And to say, just because your parents did this, you still hate them, well, that's a blanket statement. I don't believe that. I definitely believe you can do a lot of healing, and you can transmute that energy if that is the energy that you landed at. So when you speak of hate and all that, I simply smile and just love you. I'm clear about how I feel about my mom, my father, myself. And so I appreciate you sharing what you say, what you see, and that's all it is. What you say and what you see is it's one view out of 8 billion. I respect it. At the same time, I'm very clear about who I am. Very clear about the resonance I have for my parents. And very clear about how I love myself and love you. And I welcome your challenge and I welcome your statement. I welcome it all.
I appreciate it. And that's a great man.
The evidence will be in my body, and the evidence will be in my relationship. There will be the evidence of it.
I love it. Thank you. As far as I understand, you said, remember this. How about we do this? Because you know what, it really hurts me that people question my memory. It really undermines it hurts my feelings. You want to play a memory game quick, and you'll see that you're not close. You're not close. I challenge you. I would love to be disappointed the first time ever, because this game, and it's a very childish game, we just say words, and who will start forgetting first? You'll see. You're not close. I remember well.
I'm not close to what?
To me. In memory. When you tell me, remember this, why don't you remember this too? And listen to me like you like to say. See, I don't never use these. I'm just being silly because I never speak this way. I never tell people, remember this or listen to me. You have this condescending way because you're a teacher. Sometimes you need to because people don't listen to you. But I do listen. And I don't listen to the words because you said, I am clear how I feel. See, these two are incongruent. Clear is mind related. Feeling is either you feel it or you don't. There's no clear or semi-clear. It's more of a binary. You either feel it or you don't. A little bit, no, that you're thinking. Once you feel, you feel. You feel the goosebumps, oh, they're there. I'm clear, I'm feeling goosebumps, sounds a little silly. No, clear is a mind, it's a word related to thought process, clear. You can't use these two words together. That shows that you're not clear on your thought and feelings working. They're not the same. Thoughts come from, well, they're not coming from where the feelings are coming. They're mental. By the way, they're not even from your brain. Now, I learned that recently. Now, you cannot be clear on how you feel. It's not a clear subject. It's a feel.
Then what would you be about how you feel?
I feel something strongly, or I feel it maybe weakly. But clear is related to thoughts.
Do you know how you feel? Do you know how you feel?
You can't say no because it's not a no thing. It's a feel thing. No is this.
Abraham, if you said that to someone and they didn't have more understanding about what you said, they would be confused. You can be very clear about how you feel. If someone asks you how you feel, you can say, I feel sad, I feel happy. That's called clarity of how you feel. Absolutely. I totally
Incorrect.
agree with you. You can be clear about how you feel.
That's again.
I teach it and I stand by it. You can be very clear about how you feel.
I feel.
If you're angry, you're clear about it. If you're upset, you're clear about it. To teach someone they can't be clear about how they feel, they just talk.
Okay, let me ask you, how do you feel? How do you feel? How do you feel right now?
I feel you're making up a lot of things in your business.
Whoa, that's a thought.
Ready? Hold on.
That's a thought. That's a thought.
When do you realize that?
Whoa, that's a thought.
Your conviction doesn't move what I'm clear about.
That's a thought. That's not a feeling. Oy, 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 oy. Okay, let's slow down a little bit. This is going too fast. I ask you how you feel. You give me a thought. You say, I feel like you don't know what you're talking. This is not a feeling, it's a thought. I ask you how you feel.
You know what? I'm not here to go back in semantics with you.
Whoa, whoa.
We can get on semantics and words.
It's not a semantic.
Words.
Listen. Remember this and listen.
What's most important is essence. Let's pick up the essence here.
You're not understanding me.
We're playing these games called words.
I see you. You're breaking down, my friend.
Your ability to heal and create the outcome you're looking to create. Right?
I don't look to create outcomes. I look to create greatness.
Let me finish. The reality is we're not able to create what you're looking to create with these current syntax in your code. You're not able to create the result.
Who said this?
And you're not creating the result.
I see a man breaking down. That's a result.
Breaking down?
Oh, yeah.
I'm being very straight with you. Ain't no breakdown. I'm just talking straight.
You're denying. You're denying again.
Hearing what's being said. You keep telling me this belief and telling me this belief with conviction. I'm like, listen, we can both go
Listen.
toe to toe. I can go toe to toe all day long, but I ain't gonna get nowhere.
Okay.
There's gonna be two people bounce off each other.
Again.
Receive.
Great.
If we don't receive, Abraham, we're not gonna create a different result. Right now, are you creating the result that you're intending to create?
Absolutely.
Are you creating the result that you'd like to create?
Yes.
You are. You wouldn't be calling if you did. How? What result are you creating?
I want to see how far you can go.
I can go as far as you want to go.
Watch this. Watch this again. Watch what you did. I want to show you what you do. Look at me. I can go as far as you want. This is called a dissonance. You can go like this and say, okay, so watch. Better say, the body language is really not there. So watch. I can go as far as you want to go. I can go. When you can use the confirmatory statement, confirm it with your gesture. Do not do a dissonance. I can go as far as you want to go.
I can do this. I can do this. I can choose whatever.
That's called
I can go as far as you want.
cognitive emotional dissonance. That's not it. That's a lot. Your body is telling me the truth. You can't go far.
Abraham, I can go as far as you want to go.
Okay, so let's go a little slow. So when I ask a person and you,
Controlled by all that.
great. So
Let's talk straight.
I love you.
Stop telling me what to do. What not
You
to do.
stop telling me too. You stop telling me and listen and remember. So watch me and learn. Watch me and learn. Or if you want to speak, you speak and I'll listen. But you're not listening. You're not listening. Go ahead, speak.
But I'm just saying, you got to remember, the nature of this call is not, I didn't come here. Yeah, remember. I didn't, and I'll remember too. We're always remembering. Yes. I didn't come here to say, Abraham coached me. You came here to learn what I had to teach. But you keep teaching me, so you're not learning nothing.
I already know what you, this I already know. You're weak. You're acting weak. So watch this. So watch this. What? Now watch. Great. Great. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. That's a...
This is great. This is great.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Look. I can multiply 3 digit by 3 digit. It'll take me 5 minutes, but I'll do it in my head. I do it in a cold plunge. If you tell me, Abraham, I'm here to teach you 2 plus 7. And you don't want to learn. Say, hey, it's 9. Well, no, it's not quite. I say, I already know this. No, you don't know. Okay, so of course, if I negate something, for example, this is right now day. Oh, no, it's night. No, it's a day. That's denying a fact, or this is a little different from denying a concept. Now, let me go back a little bit and ask you again, because I asked this question many people. In fact, quite a few understand it from the second or third time. If I ask a person, psychologists do this a lot. We did it actually in the AA, in my rehab. They actually trained us. Question was often posed, how do you feel right now? Now, I get responses. I feel you're wrong. That's not a feeling. That's a thought. Oh, I feel this conversation is not going. No, that's not a feeling. It's very, sometimes semantics are just words, whatever, the fuck, whatever, who gives a shit. That's just, I'm blabbering. But sometimes we need to be impeccable with our words. Just like that book, for Agreements, Toltec. You may have heard of the book. Impeccable. Now, I ask how you feel. Simple question.
Okay. How do I feel right now?
Right now.
I feel like a smiling joy that I appreciate you attempting to challenge me. So I feel this internal joy, like this is fun, it's exciting, and I do want to be effective with our time. At the same time, I welcome the best of it. So I feel this energized joy of you trying to challenge me. This is great. I appreciate it.
And you know what?
I love it. I love it all, man.
And you know what?
I feel in love with Abraham. I love it. I welcome it.
And let me tell you something.
It's confronting and it's great, and I get to see my love for mastery, so I love it. I love challenges.
And you know,
Being in the fire, and that's how I experience to be in the fire. I'm born for these moments, and that's why I love it, because, yes, you're testing me, and I love it, so that's how I feel energized.
I love you for saying that. And I love you back. You get my love right back, my brother. Having said that, I'll share something with you, because you're right on now. Now you're right on, because joy, elation, love are feelings. By the way, they're not emotions, but they are feelings. We're not going to go in depth. What are the difference? You may or may not know, but I don't think you know what the difference is. But that's okay. The point is, I didn't know either.
Go ahead.
Now, when you were saying this, your body was actually resonating. You were joyful. You kept saying it a lot of times. Usually in psychology, when a person repeats it more than once or twice, there's a little bit of this strain because they really want to get whatever they're saying through. That's too much love and joy, because if it's a joy, you'd say, hey man, I'm joyful. Just once. Now, obviously, it's not just a pure joy, because 3 minutes ago you were going like this and you were animated and great because you're human. You gave me some emotion and I was like this too. That's great. You see me for real. I ain't playing. Now, I mean playing in a word. I'm not disrespecting your definition. I'm just being colloquial. I'm not playing a game here. I'm being me. So there is a mix. It's very rarely that we feel a pure feeling, because there's always a mix. Having said that, I do love you because you are one rare talent and a rare genius. Because that is something that especially coming from a person who was born and raised in this country, and you were not raised in a crazy communist Soviet Union repressive shit, which brings out different qualities. You are unusually deep for someone of this culture. Unusually deep. And a great human being. And I love you. Having said that, please guide us in the direction where you want this to go, because I can share with you things you don't know. I'm sure you can do with me as well. And I do project. And I'm all fucked up too. I got you.
Be effective when there's no harmony at that level. So one of my core beliefs is, you've seen Forrest Gump. And Forrest Gump, at one point in Forrest Gump, he said, life's like a box of chocolates. Well, someone took that and adopted that and said, to them, they said, life's going to be a box of chocolates. And they keep repping it until that's how they see it. And so, to me, it's like, cool. If you say that, there'll be a consequence to it. And you'll see variety. It just shifts how you see everything else, but you stack your beliefs on top of that. So, I've chosen to see life as a game. I picked up that belief years ago, and I'm like, you know what, that resonates with me. And you've chosen that it's not a game. So that right there is a core fundamental belief that we disagree upon, and everything else keeps stemming from that, because to me it's a big game that I play to win. And it's a serious game that I have fun at, and I play to win-win. No different than football, baseball. These are big games. Many are impacted. It's taken seriously, yet it's still a play. And my thing is to master that play at a high level, where I win, you win, everybody wins. So we can have an extraordinary experience, and our soul can evolve and move towards its intention of why it's here to evolve. That's why I play. No different than you picking up an instrument and playing, or however you play. I see it as play, and that's not going to shift right now. And if it does shift, I'll let you know. So that's one of my core fundamental beliefs. Life is a game, and I play to win-win. So you're like, life is not a game. So tell me what life is to you then. I want to understand your core belief around it, because you say what it's not, but I want to hear life is what, if you have the feeling. Go ahead.
I thank you so much, and you're amazing. You're fucking amazing. this is one of the things that I feel life is when I feel something so genuine, I gotta share it and say, this guy, no matter how we are different, you're an amazing, beautiful human being. Appreciate it. It's like sometimes I just listen. You were talking right now, and I had certain challenging ideas, but then I was like, whoa, just a fucking amazing guy. This is a beautiful person. Just because of you speak from the bottom of your heart, and you have this kindness in you that melts a lot of negativity. I feel it because I feel negativity in me. I feel it, but you, with your kindness, you melt it, and I hug you for it. Now to go back. I wish I meet a woman at least half as kind as you, at least half. Now, when you said game versus not a game, you mentioned playing an instrument, and that sticks with me because I'm a lover of languages. I speak three, Spanish, English, and Russian. I speak Russian. I speak very, very well, and then English I speak somewhat, but Spanish I speak quite a bit. So in Russian and in English, we say play guitar or play piano. Literally that same word we use for playing a game. In Spanish, they have a word for play, jugar. But they don't use it for playing an instrument. They use tocar, touch. So when I play guitar, I don't play in Spanish, I touch guitar. I touch piano. And to me, it resonates with me so beautifully because this is not, like playing a piano is not a game. And what I tell you, I'll tell you right now what I mean. Not to disrespect or diminish the concept of a game. But game, to me, means something that is artificially created as a practice, as a fun, as a ultimately having no deep consequence on life. It's a chess, like I'm a big fan, and I'm a reasonable chess player. See, I have a lot of chess boards in my house. Chess is a game, in many ways similar to life. But if I lose a chess game, sometimes it hurts because I'm passionate and I go. I don't know. Do you play chess, by the way? So we can play one day. I do. I like to play blitz, 5-minute games. Ooh, passion. Things flying all over the place. Now, me and my grandpa, by the way, just to refer to a chess game, chess quite likely has saved his life because my grandpa at 99 still beats me, gets me crazy. He doesn't see well. He has a bigger vision of chess, and he taught me, but I could never surpass him. He doesn't see well, but he still beats me even though he messes up the colors sometimes. He's a bigger conceptualized player. One time he was playing chess, almost 20 years ago, and he had chest pain. He walked avidly. He was an avid exercise person in his early 80s. He got some angina, chest pain, where I sent him to his cardiologist, and they did an open heart on the guy. And the chess blitz, he goes, when I play the fast game, on clock, I get because it's nerves. So you see how the interface, the connection is so intimate because chess actually saved his life. Had it not been, he may have died from a heart attack in the next month. But it uncovered the symptom, and they did an open heart, and he's still kicking. So, having said that, to me the game is just like chess, or like backgammon, or like a memory game. It's a practice of life, but it's not life. So life, you get to live it once. As far as we know, here we are once. We have no other evidence concretely. And if we approach it in a frivolous, how sometimes we approach games, the result may not be all that playful. For example, people smoke. Oh, it's a game. Well, then they get cancer. Well, that's already doesn't sound like a game. Cancer is not gamely. Or killing each other, like right now in Israel. That's not a game. That's a horror. You call that a game? I hope you don't call that children dying from explosions, body parts ripped to pieces of a 3-year-old. You call that a game? I want to hear you say that's a game too. To me, that's a tragedy. That's heart-wrenching. I can't see that even, and they show it too to evoke some of that heart-wrenching pain, because that's someone's child. Could be mine, could be me. That's not a game. That's life. Again, you may understand it in that context, and I don't mean to disrespect your concept of a game, because you may put meaning to it but different from what I put it. But to me, it's still a game though at the end, even though it can shape someone's life. Don't let me speak for too long. I'd like to hear your take on it.
So two things, yes, it's all a big game to me of life and death, because part of life is death. You know, it's a beautiful flow. You know, a lot of times we think death is something tragic. Tragic is how we relate to it. Death is something beautiful, because your soul never dies, Abraham. It just reform, goes from in and out form, and we make it so tragic instead of seeing the beautiful of the transition. Like, okay, he played this 70, 80 years, he played the shit out of it, he did it his way, and I'll catch you next lifetime. I don't believe this is our first time we played. I don't believe this one time, because my context, I'm very clear that our souls will come back to life like we go back to class each day. And a day in class to the universe is like 70, 80 years on Earth. That's how I see it. Like, man, this is a short thing to the universe. It's infinite. So I'm here to grow, and whatever lessons I don't learn and whatever stuff I do, I'll be back again, relearning it. Someone wiping my ass, letting go of their beliefs. And it's a big ass game that ultimately you can't lose because your soul's infinite. It comes from God. It's one with God. And so you're just simply experiencing what it is to be that God within you, and you're going through what is not to be it. So it's all part of the contrast. You understand who you are, you understand who you're not. And it's part of this amazing game that you get to experience fully. You get to cry, feel pain, shake, live, die, all that. What a heck of an experience to know that your soul's still untouched. It's still infinite. So yes, it's all a big ass game that I understand, and I love it. The life, the death, the trauma, the dramatic, all that shit, because that's life, and that shit is real.
That's a real game.
Yeah, this shit is real. This shit is real. Life and death fucking real. That's why we play it on the edge. Like,
see, okay, so then I got you. The only difference is that those games are not ultimately real. This is a reality show. Well, this is reality and not a show. This is real reality. This is what's happening.
That's why I love this game, because this shit is real.
We speak of the same thing. We speak of the same.
Like, I like that real shit. There's crying, there's blood, there's guts, there's everything. Shit is real. We're living, we're healing. This shit is real. That's why I love it. It's not phony. It's not fake. This is real shit. So, that's how I see it. Now, what is life to you? If you said life is what? I'm still listening. What would you say? Life is...
So life is, to me, everything. Is love and is hate. Is pain and is joy. Is hot and cold. Is life and death. And whatever happens in life is beautiful, and it's not, as they say in a lot of Eastern philosophies. Our responsibility is action and the path. We take steps. Result is not our prerogative. It's not our realm. Result is, I say hers. Results are given as she deems wise, because we don't know the whole picture. I also have a belief that we come back. In fact, even genetically, I have genes of my grandpa who I've never seen, yet I'm hearing glimpses of the stories. I have his name. They gave me his name, which they actually concealed because of the anti-Semitism. I think I mentioned it to you. They call me Arkady or Alik, but it come from Abram because it was a very Jewish name, still is, and in a lot of anti-Semitism, I would have been mocked. Like, for real. Because no one names kids Abram in Soviet Union. That's just like, come hit me. So I really feel like, and he was actually a rabbi as well, undercover. And Abraham in the Bible, and I see so many parallels. He also had several wives, and he had trouble from that. And he had issues. He actually gave his wife to the Pharaoh, trying to survive. Pharaoh got mad when he found out. And then he always collected people. He is the father of all religions that are major ones, Abrahamic. So I have all religions are here. Christianity, Judaism, Catholic, part of Christianity, a Muslim I don't have, pagans. And I do a little sacrilege. I have a pig with a yarmulke with a pig. It's this crazy stuff. I mean it in a most humorous way, even though my Jewish friends don't see it like that. Having said that, I also feel like you feel that we are here returning. I have genes of my grandpa, so clearly, in fact, you see it so many times, how there are stories where a white lady slept with a black man in Russia in World War II. There was a movie about this. And they had a white daughter, completely white daughter. And the guy left. He was a military that was stationed in Russia during World War II. So she had a love affair. African American guy and a Russian white Caucasian lady. The daughter's completely white. The daughter marries a white man. She has a black son. And it's in the village. Everybody flipped. He almost beat her, she started almost to beat her because what the hell is this? Well, genetically it's possible. So you can say this is the spirit, genetically, color of the skin. This wasn't like a little dark beige. No, he was a Negro black, like black. So the movie was hilarious. And they went to the geneticist, and he explained it to them, Mendelian genetics. Recessive autosomal happens. So yesterday I was listening to the lecture. The lady says, look, some kids are born, they're old souls. They call them in all languages. They've been here before, so they have a lot of knowledge. They're like, whoa, they look at you like they're 80 years old with 3. I'm like, whoa, he sees me like an adult. I even see it in animals. Animal looks at me like, I got you, brother. And some I see 50, 70-year-olds, they're like little babies. They're pretty fresh probably. That's the first maybe incarnation or second. So they're just learning, getting experience. So I get you, brother. Now, to go back, because I love talking to you, man. This is to me, I get a lot of dopamine just talking to you. How do you see, correct me if I feel wrong, how do you see me a part of your system? Because you could see how I see things quite similar, but in some ways I'm so rigid in my ways. By the way, could be maybe somewhat harmful to me, because the benefits I may reap if I get a little flexible. How do you see me as a part of your system? Or do you see me at all?
That's a great question. So, at this stage, I don't necessarily see you as part of my system, part of this game system, because I see you attracting other thought leaders that can challenge how you think, and just so you can create what you want to create, and just challenge it. Hey, I'll challenge that. And you can see what they're creating, they can see what you're creating, you can take it and do what you want with it. So I kind of see it like that. I see you bringing very powerful people around you so it can just give you that real perspective, so it's not just what you think, but people you trust. Say, give me some reflection on it. And you don't push back on each other. You do what you do, but at the same time there's this respect and love, and you take it and whatever really resonates, you'll use it. If it doesn't, you'll create what you create. So I see you creating your own thing.
I appreciate it.
Give you something to rub off on.
That's what I've been actually looking at, and I've been on a path for 3-4 years, maybe even 5, and I've had, because I'm also on a path of meeting a woman, so I combine them two. And I basically, when I go on dating sites or on the beach today, before I came here to speak with you, I basically told 7 people in a span of 10 minutes. 7 people were around me and on the phone with me together, and I basically told them all to get lost because they pissed me off. And I gave them a lot of my heart, and I tell them, listen, I'm next to you, but you pissing me off. 3 of them were models on the beach. There was a guy with this, a couple, a guy and a lady, who he didn't want to introduce me to the lady. I said, this is my neighbor, my buddy, from a building next to me. And two on the phone in Kazakhstan, one of whom had a preeclampsia, postpartum, that the husband is doing some shift work, some other city, and there's a lot of angst. And I met that preeclamptic lady's cousin on Tinder. You see how that's crazy? 7 people in like 10 minutes. I love it. And they were all beautiful people, obviously. Having said that, I've been on that path and I love the path. It is, I feel my views are so stringent and so maybe idealistic that they're not feasible for most people, because unlike you, most people cannot even handle a conversation like this because they're just too rigid and they flip and block. See, and I have a fear. I want to mention this fear to you. Maybe you can give me your expert opinion. I have a fear. I tell you 2 of my major fears right now. I'll give you weapons to say, hey, look at you, that's your fear, because a lot of my behavior is provoked by those fears being activated. They're deep. Number 1 is the fear of being abandoned. And people, as I've mentioned, have abandoned me, and I actually am first to abandon them now, because from the childhood, even my own father was telling me, your mother can die, your mother can die, your mother can die, because his mom had him when she was in her early 40s, accidentally, right after World War II. So I feel quite likely he had the fear of an older mother being uncertain, and then he gave it to me. I was 3, 4, remembering your mother can die, love your mother. I'm like, whoa, okay, I love my mother. My mother is 73, she can knock the wall down right now. She ain't dying. So it got instilled in me. I always felt like people want to abandon me. So now, since I have been, your fears, you attract your fears. So I attracted them beautifully. Now, my kids have changed their phone numbers. My ex has blocked herself. Everyone except for my grandpa is gone, and securely gone. They have a mortal grudge because nothing's changing. My dad just passed and it did not get resolved. It's called a mortal grudge. So that, when I feel even a tonality, like you were giving me a little attitude, or so I perceived it, and it activated my fear. I'm like, whoa, this guy is like giving me attitude. Maybe he'll drop me too. So let's just have it out. Let's have it on and let's see. And if it's meant to be over, it will be over. And this is how I become so, I could say, infuriates or ignites me, and people get sort of, they don't feel well toward such raw emotions, because I just become raw. So that's one fear. And the second fear is a fear of being, ready, punched in the face. We had quite a few fights when I was growing up. Back in Russia, it was quite normal. And there were a few fights, maybe I'd say around 8 or 10 fights, where I got dominated. And not because, there were strong kids, and some of them were stronger than I. It wasn't their strength that dominated, it was just them having more balls. I was afraid to punch him as hard as I could. So I felt dominated, and it stuck with me. I remember this. It's a very unpleasant memory. So as though I try to provoke, I've had several fights in these several years, just being silly, nasty to people. Well, they provoked me, I provoked them. Then we had a couple of fist fights, literally like a few years ago. One of them I even accidentally filmed. So I feel that that's the very deep fear from childhood of being dominated, and that hurts. So those are the 2. And maybe you can give me some advice on those. Having said that, one other thing. Since you don't see me, and I understand why, and I don't see myself as a part of your system as you have it, is it possible that I can visit you and just at least meet you, or maybe sit on one of your meetings as a humble listener?
You're always welcome to
participant.
Because we're always open to hearing what you have to say. At the same time, we love flow. Because we can be in contention all day long, but then that's entertaining to my ego, but I'm more interested in my soul right now. My ego's been entertained long enough. So yes, you're always welcome to be a participant, because I know you have a lot to share. A lot of people can learn from it. At the same time, I think it'd be beautiful for you to be around other souls who understand this technology and hold a space of love for you, regardless of how you show up. You know, we realize that the love we hold for you is the love we hold for ourselves. You're just a mirror of ourselves. So it's confronting, but that's the game that we play. It's like, how can I be confronted and still get back to loving myself, because that's loving you. It's not easy, because life's going to throw everything at you. So yes, you're welcome to come. We love it. And you get to meet the team, and just, there's no rush. We're here, we've been doing it for several decades, and our goal is to keep playing for that love, those higher vibrations.
I understand.
All those other emotions and feelings exist, you know? They'll always be there. The thing is, my goal is not to activate those as much. My goal is to activate the higher realms more and deactivate some of the other areas. But I always say, by the space of God go I, meaning all those things or feelings and emotions are in me. It's just, what do I want to activate and make very prevalent in my life? And if I activate the higher realms, the higher energy fields, then I'll see that vibrational frequency mirrored in my life more. And that's why you're here. You want to see some of those other vibrational frequencies mirrored in your life, from your relationship with your kids to your ex-wife to just women in general. And all those are possible. It just depends on which one you activate more.
I understand. Thank you for sharing this. And you know what I wanted to ask you? See, my challenge is, once I feel a person, obviously not a person like you, because I feel safe with you, because I feel that you are, no matter what, within a reasonable, obviously, within a reasonable interval or space. I mean, I don't mean to imagine, hopefully if I'm reasonable, you will always be there for me as a friend, and I can always reach out to you, and I feel safe. So that's why it calms my fear of being abandoned. So that I take my hat off to you for that. When I feel it in other people, and having been abandoned, or having abandoned myself, having felt betrayed, or having felt treated disloyally, I feel that people are not loyal. Okay, so let's say I'm wrong. I mean, I'm calling you back and you block yourself. People say they block me. No, I'm here. They block themselves. So that hurts, because you lose your. That's what I wanted to ask you. I want to hear what would happen if, let's say, your daughter did something toxic that you could not condone, or let's say if she blocked herself from you. What would be your actions? How would you feel, or what would you do? I'm curious to hear your take on this potential. It can happen to anyone.
Yeah. When you have 3 children, I always keep in mind that they have their own thoughts, they have their own beliefs, and that they're a collective of their environment. There's so many things that I do not control that they have access to. All they gotta do is pull up their phone. They have access to the world, believe whatever they want to believe. So I keep that in mind when I'm talking to my children. I realize that they're their own men and women. So that's why I get to surrender. So first of all, I think, wow, look what I've created here. I've created these beings that I put in the world for some reason for me to get the lesson I need to get. So what lesson do I need to get here? Because they're giving me the business right now. Whether they're talking crazy to me, telling me they don't love me, making choices that I wouldn't make. So we get to experience all that with children. But I get to look at, okay, who do I get to become in the face of this? And do I love who I'm becoming? That's my main win. Do I love who I'm becoming as I relate to whatever they throw at me? As long as I can say I love who I'm becoming, I'm cool in how I relate to them. So let me give you an example. My daughter, one day, I said, why are you so angry? I said, it's just like you, every time you sit next to me, you're angry. And she said, and she really thought about it. And while I was asking her that question, how do I feel? I felt this compassion and love for her, because there goes there goes past self. That was me when I was a kid, angry at my dad, judging him for who he is, judging him for what he didn't do. I was like, man, I'm getting exactly what I put on my dad. So at this point, I'm loving her. Still, I got to that center because it's always about getting back to my center. So I don't need her to say anything particular. I just want to hear what's there for her. So I said, why are you so angry? Like, why do you sit next to me and then just this anger comes in? And she actually pauses and thinks about it. But if I didn't get to my center, Abraham, she would not have answered. She would shut down and said nothing. But I know when I create that, I'm clear that when I create that space and I connect to it, the space does the work. It does the magic. And if you can just tap into that God energy, that centered energy, that energy that's not me, it's the we, it's the collective. It does the work. Call it love, call it joy. I just understand how to get to it. If I get off, I can get back on. So I just practice getting on so that it can do the work. So I was able to get to that center when I asked her that question. And you'll see the result. If you can't get there, they'll shut down, say nothing. But if you can get to that state, we'll call it 500, 600 state. When you talk to them, something miraculous opens up. It does the work. So I hit the state, and she said, and she actually took introspection. She said, because you didn't fight for me. It was just so beautiful. She said what was there. She's like, you didn't fight for me. When my mom divorced you, and she said she's going to take us out of state to Houston, she said, you didn't fight for us. You didn't fight or none of that. You just allowed her to take us in. And I didn't get to spend time with you. And I looked at her, I'm like, wow, thank you so much for sharing that. And there was no defense. And I looked at her and I said, you know what? Because I was clear about who I chose to be even back then. I said, I'm not going to fight for you. I'm going to love you and your mom. I said, I never want you to see me fight a woman for anything. And I said, that's not personal to you, but that's the standard I set. I said, I have too many women around me watching me. And however I treat one woman is how I treat all women in our minds. And so it's so sensitive that I can't play around with it. I've got to be consistent on how I treat women, because if you're not consistent with it, it just doesn't work. And so when your mom wanted to get divorced from me, I said, I'm not going to take her to court, be litigious or anything. I'm just going to love her, ask her to stay here so I can be around you as well. But if she's really bent on doing what she wants, I'm going to ask God to give me the strength to love her as she chooses. And that's what I did. Now I know I'm paying the price because you didn't get to spend time around me. At the same time, I chose what I chose. And I stayed to what I chose because I still have very powerful relationships with women around me, including your mom. Your mom has even placed you with me because she trusts me. Even if she divorced me, she still trusts me because I never wavered on how I treat women. And that's why I keep winning with my relationships with women right now. And when you grow up, you'll still see it. I'll be right there. And I treat that feminine energy very respectfully and very powerfully because it is life. And so I kind of explained it to her. I don't expect her to get it, but that's my personal testimony of how I dealt with it.
Wow, that is amazing. It's amazing that you're able to find that center. With me, my experience, I was living as I was living, basic, family, 4 children, loving them. In fact, I think I mentioned I love them so much. Not in a oh, I love you. No, I loved being with them. I think I mentioned I had a lover once. She was my most beloved lover, Stephanie. And I had a choice. I don't know if did I tell you this?
I haven't heard this one.
Yeah, so I was coming from work and it was maybe like 4 or 5 p.m., something like this. And I still had a couple, because we were living semi-open, semi-not, whatever. I had lovers. And I had a choice either to go home, and my kids were already home from school. They were like from maybe 3 to 8 at that time, or 4 to 9. They're all like year apart. So they're 3, 4, 6, and 8, whatever. So year and a half. I loved just being with them and just playing, and it's a joy. Lego, hide and seek, whatever, running in a pool. So I had a choice to go see my lover. I still had a couple of hours of accountability, or go home and spend time with my kids. And I thought to myself, nah, I'd rather go home. And I caught myself thinking, not because I have to. No, I prefer to go home and spend time with my kids. It's just, it gave me more fun, sincerely, because I said, no, I'll see my lover when they're in school next day. 'Cause that way I don't have to sacrifice the time with them. I'll see her on a time when they're not there. So I consciously preferred, and I love that woman, beautiful woman. I mean, loved. I had a lot of feelings for her. Having said that, I had all those feelings, and I wanted, there was number 5 and number 6, and I wanted, she actually wanted to abort number 4. I don't blame her. She was tired because it was so much in a row, and she is more of a Sex in the City, glamorous type of person, where she did not want so many kids so fast. She wanted 3, but more spread out. I get her. So that was great of her to actually listen to me and keep the 4th one, Elizabeth. Now, when this happened, when divorce happened, it was subconscious. She will deny it. She wanted to. She always said that I ruined her life. She gave me 4 kids, and I betrayed, and I did. I mean, on an energy level and on a more deeper level, I did betray her trust by signing off for this, by marrying her, basically letting a woman know that I'll be there, and I was ultimately not able to. So, right or wrong, who's right? I mean, we both did it. But as a man, I didn't have enough in me to be with her through thick and thin, and she has all the rights to feel that. No matter, I mean, it's both of our doing, but bottom line is, I understand that the physiology of this, the energy of this, I did betray her, not willingly. I couldn't take it anymore. I was suicidal, but it is how it is. So she feels that, I feel that she feels that angst, that grudge, and I could see it in her. She's never been into money. Now she's trying to milk me for every dollar. That's not even her. She had a chess set that she didn't want to give back. She just wants to be mean, just to her, and she will deny it. And it reflects on children. And plus, I'm a bit strong. I'm a bit of a, in-your-face person. So I was always forcing them to read and do exercise, and then she just let them play iPad. One episode where actually my son already told me, we are upset at you that you're not fighting. I'm not fighting for you. I'm calling you. I'm trying. I don't know. Tell me how to fight for you more. I don't know. I try to get with you. They refuse to see me. And it gets me mad. Now, I'll give you a small example, which is a reality. I got through maybe 3 years ago to my oldest. He's the closest one, Samuel. He's 19 now. I got through to him on his birthday. I think he unblocked me. So we spoke, and I ultimately was able to convince him to do a FaceTime, because they don't want to FaceTime me, because this is a lot. It is a lot. So we had a difficult initially, and then a conversation where he warmed up, and I stopped being, because I was upset too, because he keeps running away. Good 2-hour conversation, some 3 years ago. And it warmed my heart that he's maybe warming up. So I'm thinking to myself, whoa, that's a start. Hopefully he'll warm up, then I can get through to the other ones through him. And this was the first breakthrough in 2 years probably. So I'm like, whoa, that's hopeful. That's great. I feel great. We parted beautifully. I said, I'm gonna call you tomorrow. Call me too. Guess what happened tomorrow? The next day, just blocked himself. Nonchalant, not a word, no obvious reason. Just it got. I mean, in my experience, the words I said were powerful. It may have gotten to him. We parted amicably. Now he blocked himself. All right. Well, not quite all right. I got sick. I got a pneumonia, and I'm a pulmonary. I got a pretty bad pleuritic right upper lobe pneumonia. I couldn't take a good breath. I was febrile to 102, 103 for 10 days. I was still working, but I had to take pills and antibiotics too, because I don't like to be sick. So I just keep going. But man, it was scary, because first of all, my ICU mind, I'm like, next thing I know, I'm gonna be intubated. These bitches are my friends, and they we're gonna intubate your ass and put a urine catheter, a penis catheter in you. We're gonna mess with you now. And I'm like, it's feasible to imagine, because I see how these things, and it's scary. I'm by myself. And I'm like, how did I let this happen? My immune system took a hit. Because when he blocked himself, it really, it was like a dagger. And man, that hurt. And so I didn't sit down and write out a plan on how, I just naturally become so, I guess, vicious to make sure that this doesn't happen, because I don't want to trust and then get sick again. It's crazy. Like I got a little breakout today, a little, what do you call this? Cold sore, because I am intense and maybe I overdid a little athletic too much. I went into cold plunge and I may not have been at my best. So I sprinted for 20 minutes on my pedal board. That's unusual. I haven't done it in a while. So combination, couple of women, couple of this. So now I took it easy today because I feel my immune system is a little down. Being by yourself, you left to your own devices. You feel me what I'm saying? So I feel vulnerable because I do want to love, and when I love, I love crazy because I'm all over you. But then it hurts too. The more you love, the more it hurts to lose, because it's to me, I don't know how to bring myself to that center, because I've never been. I'm a very emphatic person, and it's just how I've been since I remember. I cannot be like diplomatic. So I don't mean to speak too long, man, but it brings out memories.
So what I mean to say is that you have a high level of awareness of what your challenges are and what your opportunities are, and you're willing to face them and willing to understand and get them to, I guess, heal them, so you can get to that center spot. And right now you're putting pieces together, you're tracking different information, you're still putting it together, and there's still a result or an experience that you're looking to have. And so that's probably the reason why you're still on this call, because there is an experience you're still looking to have. So
being alone. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was gonna say just being alone and having this understanding of reality that I have met so far, and I meet dozens of people a day and see a pattern which I'm not blaming them. They're in their certain way that it doesn't jive with my way. Like had they had a half